Welcome to Bit Boy Crypto, the People's Channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. My name is DZ, not Ben Armstrong. I will be the host today. We had a little bit of an issue with our microphones and headphones and audio issues, so don't adjust your dials. That is the Olsen twins. They are just going to be a stand-in today. They're a stand-in today, but we're going to be talking about your favorite topics with the number one panel we've ever had on the history of the show. When else have we had full house cast members? I certainly can't remember when. First, we're going to start Ashley Olsen and Mary Kate. And that leaves us to debate crypto. And if you got debate on your plate, you promise you won't get irate and spread love, not hate. Check out his channel, Debate Crypto, always putting out good stuff. Then on the bottom right, when Johnny Crypto comes with these lights, we like to call him Tokyo Johnny. And then he has a little white paper to the side. So, you know what? We do like the lighting, Johnny. It looks good. Then on the bottom left, look, just because he's in a desert doesn't mean he won't bring you to an oasis of good ideas and quality projects. That is Sin City Crypto. We're going to be talking about the ETH merge. We're going to be talking about your favorite entity, the World Economic Forum, and what do they have to do with crypto? That's right. The billionaires are meeting for that once-a-year meeting in Davos. And we're fresh from VeeCon, and we'll break down the VeeCon. Was it hot? Was it, not? Was it a success? Was it a failure? Everything in between. We'll cover all that. But before we do, let's look at the markets a little bit. And markets aren't looking fantastic. We have a couple things in the red. Sin City, I know you were looking at some charts. Those that don't know, you do a little TA every now and then. What were the charts telling you?
All right, so looking at Bitcoin, we are currently at 29,300. We've been bouncing around this symmetrical triangle here for the last 2 weeks, and so we we just hit the bottom here at 29,000 of this triangle. So I do expect another move back up to the upside to hit 30,000. Really, we're looking for where is the breakout going to be. So, if we're all in this indecision, or at least Bitcoin's in indecision on where it wants to go. What direction are we going to move? And as soon as we get a solid breakout and a confirmed breakout of this symmetrical triangle, I think that's what the direction that the market's going to go in the short to medium term. Will we go down to 24,000? I know that's a big buzz. Even sub 20,000 is also on the table. Or will we push back up? There's lots of indicators saying that we'll be getting back up to the 40K range. So I think here in the next 3 to 4 days, we'll really find out what direction the market's going to go by this weekend is my guess on that. So.
Okay, looking good. And as that triangle stretches out, it creates a Bollinger Band. The longer that goes without a sharp move to the upside or downside, historically means it will pop harder or drop harder, just like, your favorite song dropping at the club. But we're going to talk a little ETH here as well. Speaking of the big major coins, possibly with some price action, we had some developers, core Ethereum developers, come forward and talk about the merge. And the merge looks like it's going to come out sometime in August. This is after Vitalik also kind of reiterated those dates. Maybe worst case scenario, September, October, but we do have the difficulty bomb coming soon. So they essentially have a ticking time bomb saying, hey, we either got to move this difficulty bomb or we got to get this merge out soon. After the merge, I just learned this today. After the merge, this is a real thing. They have the surge, the verge, the purge, and finally, the splurge. After the merge, they're going to work on surge. It's going to be scalability improvements, sharding techniques, a few things like that. Now, Hopper, we're seeing a lot of hype about the merge. We've been talking about it for essentially a year plus at this point. When this happens, has it been so long? Maybe we won't be disappointed. Everyone's just kind of emotionally dead on how they're going to feel about this. Or has it been drug out so long, now maybe there's unreasonable expectations. Hey, you took years and years and years. I'm expecting fireworks and rainbows. What do you think is going to happen when it finally drops? Is the large crypto community going to be excited or disappointed?
This is the biggest thing to come out of Ethereum since its inception, from it moving from proof of work to proof of stake. This is a big deal. So yeah, everybody is thinking that this is going to be a big moment. And so if they somehow screw this up, it's going to not reflect well on them. I mean, I guess the good news is it's a bear market right now, so not a lot of attention is on them. So if they do mess up, there's just going to be more FUD that floats around the internet. But to answer your question, DZ, no, everyone is expecting good things for this. I mean, Ethereum is pretty much the groundwork to all of crypto. However, not everybody uses it every day because the gas fees are incredibly high. You know, unless you're a big player, you're not going to move small amounts of money around. And this helps you with a lower barrier of entry as opposed to getting away from the miners. So if you want to stake your money, because personally, just myself, I've staked the majority of my Ethereum for this ETH too. I think it's a good move for me, and I believe in Ethereum, and I can't wait for this to happen. This is probably the most exciting thing that I have to look forward to in crypto. And I thought that this might be one of the turning points to start a bear market. But since we've already been in a bear market, now I'm kind of going bullish and thinking if this goes well, this might have a small little pump for the rest of the market.
Okay, now on that note, debate crypto, let's say that does happen. You know, usually a bull market's kicked off by, you know, Bitcoin halving, a certain amount of time passes, the miners have capitulated, they kind of stop selling, then the supply drops, and then boom, we'll see a bull market kickstarted. We saw a little bit of a bull market extended with Tesla, you know, saying, hey, this is, you know, our institutional cash is now going to go into this. Will ETH 2.0, since it's Ethereum, does it have the power to kick off a bull market?
So ETH, I believe, always has the power to do just about anything. For those of you that don't know, ETH, that's my girl. I love my ETH. That's my biggest set of bags. So I definitely believe in ETH. But I also want to say that I am one of the few people that you might hear say this. I don't genuinely believe that the markets are going to continue to do what they've always done. I think most of the time what I hear from a lot of people on YouTube, a lot of people on TikTok, the different platforms, they're talking about history. And I'm going to be one of the few people that's going to say the history matters for just kind of macro market movements as a whole. Yes, the Bitcoin halving is going to make a big change in the markets. Yes, Ethereum moving over to proof of stake is going to make a big change as it relates to what the market's doing, what happens with ETH, this, that, and the third. But I think on a bigger level, I think that as we get farther and farther into this crypto adoption, I think that the past is going to be thrown out. And I think personally that we're going to go many bearish and bullish cycles. And then there will be big things that will happen like the ETH 2.0, big things like the Bitcoin halving. I don't subscribe to the fact that we're going to continue to do the same thing over and over. There's too many economic factors that are going to play with the crypto markets where I just can't see the same thing happening over and over. And I don't think the institutional investors want us to have that easy of a time pinpointing what the market's going to do at what point in time.
Interesting point. I kind of like that. Yeah, they want to keep us in the dark, keep us in the gray. So, you know, basically harder to predict the future movements. And yeah, the poor stays poor. All right, well, let's talk a little. Speaking of poor staying poor, this takes us to our next segment, the Davos meeting, the annual meeting, the billionaires, the secret society people meeting in Switzerland yet again. And the World Economic Forum is out there, and there's plenty of crypto talks happening. A lot of it's happening outside of the main area, a lot of satellite events, a lot of satellite pop-ups and people talking about it, but a little bit inside as well. And these are some of the world's most powerful people, for better or worse, the world's richest people there, a lot of business leaders, a lot of government leaders, titans of the industry are there, and about 2,500 different people there. They're going to talk about, you know, regulations. They're going to talk about capital, but I'm going to bring it to you, Sin City. There's a lot of talk of crypto this year at the Davos Economic Forum, or with the World Economic Forum at Davos here. What do you think is the main topic of conversation there? Is it how much capital do we put into it? You know, what's the price going to be like, you know, a year or two from now? Or do you think they're more focused on regulation and then the price will then, you know, be affected accordingly? So I think they're talking capital, or are they talking regulation here?
I think they're talking with whoever's got the most money. obviously this is just a collaboration of all the rich people. You can only get an invite if you got a private jet or a yacht that can pull up to the event. Yeah, I think that's just to get invited, you need to have $5 billion worth of value in your project or in your company. And so, it's good to see if you're looking for institutional adoption in cryptocurrency, you want to see this space get into Wall Street. You want to see it, get favorable treatment from the IMF, perhaps. You got to play in these circles. Is it something that I personally want to see? I really don't care, honestly. I do like Bitcoin. I do like Ethereum. Obviously, these are big projects, and I don't care to see the movement. Now, I think they're just all money hungry. All of these traditional finance people that are running the WTF or EF, what do you want to call it? Now, I don't know. I mean, I think it's just a party for rich people where they can just shake hands and make backdoor deals. But space is moving towards institutional adoption. Legacy finance is getting integrated into crypto, so it seems natural that these two industries will meet and hang out. But I don't want to go. Well, maybe if I decided,
you know what, I would go just because
they
probably have good food, right? And WEF, WTF, who knows the difference? Shout out to Mark Maron and his podcast. Now, there were some, crypto talks. They have the 5th annual blockchain central Davos there. There's a lot of people, they're trying to ingratiate themselves with these rich people. They're trying to kind of inject themselves into the conversation. Johnny, do you think it's a good thing for crypto enthusiasts and blockchain companies to inject themselves into these talks, into these circles? Is this good or bad for crypto?
It's incredibly good for crypto, and I will try to keep it short and sweet here, DZ, because we both know that we don't like to have me digress here. This is huge FOMO for me. A story like this gives me massive FOMO because big companies have tried to kill crypto. All their bad news, everything floating around all the time. The 1% has done it time and time again with rug pulls. We see the whole Terra thing. They're trying to destroy it. But now everyone is talking about, hey, how do we capitalize on this? Because 90% of money is already digital. So it just makes sense for them to try to figure out a way to centralize the blockchain so it will benefit them. And the reason why crypto is so volatile is because it's 50 times smaller than the stock market. It's 50 times smaller. So there will come a day when the crypto markets are closer to that $100 trillion mark, and people are going to be happy with their 6 to 12% gain. So for everybody here, this is a beautiful time to start. Lack of a better word, because I'm got FOMO with stories like this. This is a good time to kind of DCA into stuff, because chances are you're probably catching a falling knife. It might go down even further, but if you're going to hold this stuff forever, more than likely you're going to be good. Risk versus reward. I think that this is all good for crypto, and especially good for the retail investor.
All right. Well, speaking of retail investors, we had Bitcoin Pizza Day just happened, and Tether, it was at Davos, handing out free pizza in memorial of the Bitcoin Pizza Day, of course, where they spent thousands upon thousands of Bitcoin just for, I think, 2 pizzas from a Papa John's, weirdly enough. And now
10,
those pizzas are worth 10,000. Yeah, now those pizzas are, someone do the math, was that 30 million, I believe. So they're 15 million a piece. Very, very expensive pizzas there. Now, let's see, debate. We had Tether out there. They're the ones giving out the pizza. With Tether at this event, what do you think the topic of conversation is when it's coming to stablecoins? Is this, hey, let's keep some deregulated, let's get regulated? Do we want just CBDCs? What do you think the stablecoin conversations are going like out there?
I think the stablecoin conversations, as it relates to somebody like Tether, I hate to say it this way, but I think that we're at a point where they're going to be saying something to the effect of, what do I need to do, sir, to just continue to be a part of this, right? I think that the regulators have made it clear that they will crush whoever wants to go against what the narrative that they want to push out there is. And I think that they're trying to figure out, how do we position ourselves to continue to be able to operate? How do we put ourselves in position to be the chosen one? I think a lot of people think, I know I've heard Ben talk about it, I've talked about it, I've heard many people talk about how USDC seems to be the chosen one. And I think Tether has had a lot of regulatory scrutiny, but let's be fair. Tether reserves are 100 times better and have more reserves than the fractional banking system with the United States dollar. Let's be fair. Yeah. And so we're not really even comparing apples to apples, but I do think that the legacy system is going to dictate whether they're going to be able to continue, and if so, what those regulations look like. I think regulations are what they're talking about.
Yeah, I'm still fine. For what it's worth, I'm still fine holding Tether. Tether's market cap dropped billions. I see that as bullish. That means people wanted to cash out billions of dollars worth, and they said, yeah, fine, we got it. Here's your cash. And not only that, with their recent audit, they have lowered their commercial paper holdings. So that's just my 2 cents. You know, I love KuCoin, I love Tether, but hey, USDC, USDT, don't have all your bags in don't have all your coins in one bag. All right, let's talk a little VeeCon here. Back from VeeCon, it was held in Minneapolis. At least about 4,000 or 5,000 people attended. It was hard to tell. Of course, the tickets were given out with the over 10,000 VeeFriends. If you minted a VeeFriend season 1, probably 11 months ago, I think it was, maybe 10 months ago, you were then later airdropped a ticket for free. Those tickets were going as much as $1,000 just yesterday. They had Spike Lee, Snoop Dogg, Deepak Chopra, Eva Longoria, Mila Kunis, tons of people talking. I stayed for most of it. We left a little bit early so we can, get in time to make some more content, of course, for you folks. But really great event. I mean, you had to have the app just to get in. So they verified that you had the NFT. The app would refresh the metadata every 15 seconds. So unless you could get in, get scanned, put it up for sale, have your friend buy it, he jumps behind you, then he's all buying it all within 15 seconds. No duplication, no replication here. It was really, really good experience for everyone involved. So that being said, I'm going to bring it to you, Debate. You got your own NFT coming soon with real world utility. What do you think of Gary Vee's utility with the event? And also, would you consider a VeeFriend a blue chip at this point?
Yeah, I definitely would consider it a blue chip. And I think that the big things surrounding the NFT space are the community. And it's not necessarily the art that is there. It's really nice to have beautiful art, and art, again, is always in the eye of the beholder as well, but it's the community that's built around it. And I think that Gary Vee has a very polarizing. I think a lot of people either love him or are annoyed by him, but he is a brilliant business mind. And when you can find a central entity, we'll call it the NFT at this point, where you can bring a ton of people together and put out ideas such as NFTs and NFTs as a business model and all, like, I wasn't there. I wish I would have been there. But I believe that, yes, it absolutely is a blue chip. And I think that getting all these people together surrounding something as, something like these NFTs is super important for the adoption of the space to continue moving forward. And I think that making it as a ticket is just the next step, the next logical step in NFTs. I think we're going to see more and more of this as artists continue. They've been selling music. Now it'll be, hey, you know what? You get this little, instead of having the old band t-shirt, now you've got an NFT where you can look back and say, hey, I was there, check it out. The metadata will show you that I actually was there. I think there's some really cool stuff that's going to be continuing to come as the NFT space continues to grow.
Well, let's talk about ticketing here. Now, Johnny, I'm going to bring you to your past here, blast from your past. I want you to forget about Johnny Crypto. Remember when you were going by Johnny Hopper, hopping around on the dirt trike. Those who don't know, Johnny was motocross. So with ticketing, I think we all agree, it's going to be the future. Concerts are going to implement this. I can see, having to have an app that would work fine for a Russ concert, or maybe the Migos, or some newer band with a younger fan base. But for you, you would do motocross, maybe in some, stadium. They fill it with dirt. You're jumping around. You're doing Evel Knievel jumps and all that. Well, we'll assume you have jumped 17 school buses here. for something like a motocross event, a big truck rally, a state fair, do you really see NFTs being implemented anytime soon? How far away are we from, people who don't know about blockchain? They don't want to download an app. They barely use a smartphone. How, entrenched are NFTs going to become in the whole ticketing ecosystem? Will it replace everything, or is this going to be niche for a while?
Truthfully, it's innovation right now. NFTs, in my opinion, because you guys are more into NFTs than I am. I'm kind of pessimistic right now on the space just because of the lack of experience with it. Like if you look at coin market cap back in 2013, the top 10 coins really are not the same ones as they are now. That's the way I look at NFTs. They're going to change tremendously. But getting to your point, a little bit of regulation and somebody like Ticketmaster comes around. I mean, you already have your ticket on your cell phone that you go scan in, and the machines already know if you're in the building or not in the building so that you can't copy it and let other people in. This is just an innovation into that. So 1000% NFTs, along with the whole metaverse where you're in a VR headset or whatever sort of augmented AR, whatever it might be, you're going to use these kind of tickets to be with your buddies, whatever. It's going to happen. It is happening. It's just, I think we're working out the kinks, right? And so we're letting all the people currently in the space kind of start working out the kinks and wait till we get bigger players involved before it actually goes official. But no, roundabout way, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's going to be a big thing, and people are going to like to keep their tickets. All the time, I still keep some of my tickets to movie theaters and that sort of thing. It'll be nice to have an NFT of it. I think it's a good idea.
Hey, DZ. Yeah. Hey, DZ, just real quick, 2 seconds. And I agree with that, but I think that a lot of times these people aren't even going to recognize as it first happens that they're holding an NFT. It's just going to be, hey, it's digital. Here's how you get in. Just scan this thing. Boom, bam, slam, and they're going to move forward with it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. We're probably a little bit of ways because, you did have to link your MetaMask, just, for instance, with the VeeCon. So, there is going to be a little speed bumps for adoption here. Now, Sin City, I'm going to talk to you about location. You live, obviously, in Vegas, one of the #1 destinations for crypto events. We have Miami and Vegas kind of running the show here. A lot of people had questions. Minneapolis, really? It's like it was -20 in the winter. Are we going to start moving out to cities outside of, the main 3 or 4 that we always go to as crypto gets more mainstream, or as, real estate starts moving up, maybe venues start costing a little bit more and more microcosms and ecosystems of crypto. We're going to have smaller crowds. What was your thoughts on Minnesota as a location? And if we have a Sin City Con, you can't choose Vegas. Where are we going?
I love Minnesota, But, realistically, though, there's something that Vegas does beautiful. And it's not only gambling and entertainment and nightclubs. We got a thriving convention center here. Not just one convention center, but every major casino out here has huge convention spaces. We are the capital of conventions, and we used to be the capital of conventions for cryptocurrency. And we have let that slip through our fingers. So I would love to see a resurgence when it comes to cryptocurrency conventions here in Las Vegas. Is that one? I don't need to travel because I don't like to do the sleeping bag thing, packing up my suitcase and all that. But let me tell you, I was, a big fan of the V convention. I think it's great. It's a great place for artists to get together and, show off their NFTs. But, there was a lack of big announcements. I didn't get to go, so I was scouring the internet. I'm like, okay, what big partnerships, what big deals, what big companies are coming out? I didn't see much of it. And I kind of look at this this convention as though it was similar to Bitcoin's convention in its early days. I think moving forward, the convention will, in the future, the big NFT conventions have big partnerships where maybe Apple will come out and, talk about their rollout for NFTs or other big companies. And what a better place to do it than here in Las Vegas. I'd love to see the convention space get some resurgence here. We did just have a convention for Axie Infinity yesterday, or they had their meetup here. So we got a little bit of juice out here, but we'd love to see a big convention out here. Also, the NFT tickets that you guys are talking about. Let's take the money away from Ticketmaster and StubHub. They are monetizing to death the transfer of tickets, and then not to mention that these stadiums and venues, They have to get all of this hardware together and scanners and little machines that can read stuff, and it's unnecessary. We all have tickets that we can easily pull up on our phone, and somebody else standing at the door can just scan it. So I'm really excited about where the NFT space is going to go, and what better place to go than here in Las Vegas. There you go.
Yeah, and I would say, OpenSea, we might like to complain about a 2.5%, but Ticketmaster's taking a lot more than 2.5%. They're taxing the heck out of that ticket to NSYNC or whoever you're going to go see. All right, well, that is all we have time for today. I was not at my station, so I wasn't able to assign points, but today it's a very special episode because viewer at home, you are the one that's going to give us the words of wisdom. I want you to type in some words of wisdom in the chat. We're going to be reading the chat. Thumbs up the good ones. Let the cream rise to the top. We'll reply. We'll maybe your sage-like wisdom will change someone's life. But while you're there, maybe hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure you're checking out all the channels. We have Full House, Aaron Fridays, 8:30 on ABC. We have Debate Crypto, Johnny Crypto, Sin City Crypto. Don't forget about Frankie Candles and Meta Money, and of course NFT Alpha. Until next time, BitSquad. DZ out. Cut it out.